Today we'll take a look at the TILI-60 from the IQUNIX Super line. If you haven't heard of IQUNIX Super before, it's the company's new series of keyboards with more experimental and innovative designs. The packaging is very neatly organized, with these numbered boxes stacked perfectly on top of each other. In box 3, we have a pack of cherry-style stabilizers, some rubber feet, gasket mounting material, a standard manual, a wireless receiver for those who purchase the tri-mode PCB, some screws and PCB standoffs, and a sticker. Moving on to box 2, we have 2 hex keys for the different screws used in this build, and also this keycap and switch puller, which has a good weight to it and feels very premium. Box 1 holds the coiled cable, and like the keycap puller, it feels very well made. Finally, in box 4, we have the PCB, a FR4 plate, and a few layers of foam. The case design of the TILI-60 is probably its biggest selling point. You can choose between HHKB and 60% layouts, but for me, HHKB is definitely the way to go. It's an aluminum case that has an anodized finishing. This is the silver colored case, but it also comes in black and dark gray with a similar anodized finishing. There's a 4th E-white option as well. This storage compartment at the top is integrated into the case and is one of the most unique design elements of this board. The knob here is also integrated into the case, which really gives the TILI-60 a very cohesive aesthetic. I'm working with the tri-mode PCB today, but there's also a wired version that you can choose. The tri-mode PCB runs on IQUNIX firmware, while the wired one will run on QMK firmware. Both versions are hot swap with Kale sockets. Also, you'll notice that there's no RGB lighting with this board, which is fine with me because I never use lighting anyway. I'll be lubing these included stabilizers off camera with Krytox 205G0 for the housings and dielectric grease for the wires. After that, we can add the PE foam and also mount the plate. This FR4 plate comes standard with the kit, but there will also be aluminum, brass, polycarbonate, and POM options available as add-ons. For my build today, I'll be adding every layer of foam. And for switches, I'll be using some stock Akko Airs. Now let's open up the case to mount the PCB. The storage box at the top actually holds the battery and the daughter board for the PCB. It's a pretty interesting design that I've never seen in another keyboard. It's essentially the main part of the board that will be in contact with your table. And as a result, there will be a small gap between the very bottom of this board and the surface that you choose to put it on. Looking at the inside of the case, everything is still very nicely finished, and we can start seeing here the gasket mount design of the board. Before placing in the PCB, I'm also adding some tape just in case. The gasket mount of the Tilly 60 is centered around these fins on the plate. We'll be adding these foam strips to each side of the fin. Like this. After you have the PCB in place, you can start attaching the ribbon cables and the aluminum plates to complete the gasket mount. I don't show it here, but also make sure to plug in the battery before closing everything up. Now we can put everything back together. Now we can close the case back up and add our keycaps. I'll be using these osume matcha keycaps to finish today's build, which should complement the clean aesthetic of the Tilly 60 perfectly. So, some quick thoughts before we get into the actual sound tests. I'm a big fan of how this board turned out. It's a one-of-a-kind look that you're definitely not going to find in any other keyboard. The knob and the storage compartment are perfectly integrated into the case so that it almost makes it feel like jewelry. The silver color is also going to be very versatile for any keycaps that you put on it. You could go for a more gray tone and muted look, or you could go with something super colorful, and I think it would work either way. Anyway, that's the end of my voiceover for this video. If you found this helpful, please leave me a like. The group buy for the Tilly 60 is running until August 15th, so check out the link in the description if you're interested. Also, let me know in the comments what you think of the Tilly 60. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.